Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us. We're talking to Tom Axtell. He's the general manager of Vegas PBS, and we've covered so much information already, but there's so much more. And that's what, Tom, I need you to tell me more about how you get all of this information out to the public.
Well, we promote it on our website and we talk, and we're very appreciative of programs like this that help make people aware of it. I like to tell people when they think of Channel 10, it's like almost like looking at the sun.
Okay.
The TV signal is so bright that you can't see the planets. But the planets include community workshops, they include web pages, it's teacher education, it's online resources we deliver to schools, and that's what educational media was created to do, and we've been able to really build a business around those kinds of services throughout Southern Nevada.
Now, what kind of numbers, when you talk about people that are watching or people that are involved in it, what kind of numbers do you have?
So so we have three main channels that most people can see over the air. So that's PBS, and then there's PBS Kids, which is a 24-hour channel with children's programs. And children or grandchildren do get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and may need a little calming or something, or there's children in hospitals who find that PBS presence very reassuring when they're in a scary place. So we have a very large audience for PBS Kids, and then we have another channel called Create, which is cooking, travel, and how-to. In an average week, about 840,000 people tune in to one or more of those channels. So that's a big number. When you look at a 4-week period or 28-day period, we get up to about 1.6 million is the total audience. So we have some people who are infrequent viewers and some people who might watch 10 or 11 programs a week. So there's a variety there. But then if we look at our internet, we have over 1.6 million times a month people go to our web page. Sometimes they're just looking for the schedule. Sometimes they're downloading a program to watch it on their own personal schedule.
And we're hoping that some of the people listening now will also do that.
You have pretty sophisticated viewers, so I suspect that plenty of them know how to do that. Then we also have a special service just for schools, and that's PBS Learning Media. And we have over 300,000 about 5-minute clips, and that would, if a teacher wants to illustrate cell division or show planets or discuss whether Pluto's a planet or an exoplanet or whatever that is, those videos are there, and a teacher can click on them, and you go in and it has an indexing system, so it would say 4th grade, Emancipation Proclamation, Nevada Learning Curriculum XYZ, would show all of the resources we have. The teacher can download them for free and then use them in his or her classroom for the children, or assign them as a homework assignment for the kids to go in and do it.
Fantastic. And now I'm going to encourage our Nye County superintendent, in fact I was talking to him yesterday, to look into this. He may be already using it, and I'm sure I know he's aware of it, but there's so much more. And if he can encourage all the principals in the schools as well as all the teachers to follow this, look at how much more our students can get.
Yeah, we make those available, and anytime they would like, we have learning specialists who come and they do training sessions for schools. So we would come in on a professional development day and help the teachers learn how to use the media. What we know from the way everybody learns differently, so there's some people, they can read it and they get it. Some people need a visual image. Some people get it through a conversation. So we have oral learners and kinesthetic learners. And so we try to have a tool that really helps to cement learning with those visual images and so on. And then many of those web pages also have a full curriculum. So if you're a first-year teacher and you have to do a lesson plan for 180 days and put something down on a piece of paper, it's a lot easier to cut and paste from that website.
Oh, absolutely.
Till you begin to modify your practice, and you now have 2 or 3 years on your belt, and you have an idea of what works and what doesn't work in your classroom.
Oh, gee.
So last year we had 21 million classroom impressions. So people went to that website so many times and were able to show that to children. And it's a number that's really going up about 5 to 6% a year. We're having huge growth in this.
Now explain, when you say the impressions, explain exactly how that impacts the classroom.
Well, an average classroom, at least in Clark County, has about 30 kids. It's a little lower for elementary. So if a teacher downloads it and shows it to 30 kids, that's 30 times the download.
Got you. Okay.
And so that's where we come up with that number. So an impression means you and I were in the classroom at the same time and watched the same video.
Got you.
That the teacher presented to us.
And what's that number again?
It's over. Last year was 21,474,000.
21 million.
Yeah, and that's beyond television. That has nothing to do with our broadcast television service.
Okay.
That's just an internet repository of data that's available for public, private, charter, and homeschool children and educators to use.
I love it. This is one of the reasons I wanted you here, and I know we've tried over and over to make sure we got you here, because I knew that our audience in Nye County needed to know this. They needed to see it. They needed to hear it from you, not just from me.
Well, I know a lot of them know it, and I know like Valley Electric has been working with us.
Yes.
We have 6 TV channels that are closed circuit channels that are widely available in Clark County, but we don't quite have a way to get them over the mountain. But Valley Electric, as you know, is building a fiber optic network and is going to be offering audiovisual and cable type services throughout the entire region. And so we're talking with them about making these 6 channels available for the schools here in Nye County. And we have things like electronic field trips and a whole variety of educational media we're able to acquire in a partnership with Clark County, and it costs almost nothing to make them available in Nye County. Okay. So we're really eager to make that partnership come together to help school children here.
I was going to add, when you said that, when you talk about the partnerships that you have all over, not just for Nye County and Clark County, but all over, that just expands everything that you can do.
That's right. And our broadcast service, or the translators, are in Clark, Lincoln, Nye, and White Pine counties.
Okay.
So that's our over-the-air service, and we work with that. But we have certain things. So the state of Nevada gives us a grant, and we do online high school career and technical education. So we have programs that help young people prepare for careers beyond high school, and those are some of the, and those are all tied to the Nevada curriculum. So if you're in particularly the rural areas, have the least resources in the schools to be able to provide that. So providing those kinds of courses in an online area really increases the opportunities for the children in that area. They
Absolutely.
are not limited by the limited budget of the school or what faculty members available. They can go get that training. Okay,
now something else I have written down here is, this is Southern Nevada Public Television.
Right.
Is it only Southern Nevada?
Well,
because it sounds like you go outside of that.
There's a station in Reno, and so they really take care of the north. And then they have a translator network that goes across to Elko. So they're covering there with their translators, and we cover the southern part.
Okay.
We do have a big problem. We don't cover, we're not in Tonopah, we're not in some of those other areas. We've applied for licenses, but the federal government isn't granting anymore these days. So we're not very good on the west side of the test site.
Oh, okay.
It's a big pain for us. I've been trying for 20 years, literally, to build a network out there to be able to serve people there.
What's the
so they have
hold-up
to
on
use
that?
the internet.
What's the holdup on that?
You have to get a permission to have a license.
Right.
And the government, as you know, is shrinking the television licenses so that they can take what used to be television channels and use them for cell phone.
Right.
So when you and I had TVs that you had to manually click it, you used to go up to channels up in the 80s. It was channel 2 through 82 or 3.
Yep.
Well, the government now there's only about 36 channels, so it goes 2 to 36. So as we went to digital television and the federal government auction that occurred a couple of years ago, they took channels from 57 to about 83, sold those to cell phone companies, and that spectrum was repurposed. And now they've done it again with about channel 37 all the way up. So TV is now compressed down into those, and so there's not quite those frequencies.
Gotcha.
And that's the challenge. They're just saying we're not granting new over-the-air licenses.
Okay. And that hurts our PBS. We want more, and they're restricted. But there's so much available. So we can't sit back and cry and say we have nothing.
Well, we have the internet, and we know that people are doing mobile phones, and there's other technologies, and there's people who are building terrestrial fiber that'll help get signals up there. So from a business standpoint, as a nonprofit business that relies on donations, and has a philosophical value that says we believe in universal service.
Okay.
You know, just like rural electrification in the 30s was a big issue, rural telecommunications is a big issue today. And as a public service entity that's focused on educational content, we want to make it available to everybody based on universal access, not based on the profit that we can make by trying to sell something to them.
Now, I know you're having fundraisers.
We do indeed.
And I like your fundraisers because you're getting the funds to operate. Do you have anything coming up new that people need to know about? And how can they donate to make sure this stays open and available?
Well, the website is vegaspbs.org, and then it would be /donate.
Okay.
And that would take you to a page. $5 a month or more will get you the backlog of programs, so you could have that service. It's our version of Netflix or Hulu for PBS. But most people, you know, they'll make a donation for a year. They like the program guide because they can get an idea of what's coming up on all the channels. And we have about 17,000 households with family members who are contributing, so our base has been growing tremendously. But membership currently is a little over $2.5 million that's helping to pay the bills to buy these programs and deliver the classroom services.
You know, there's so much more that we could be talking about, but we are running out of time, and I just want to thank our general manager for Vegas PBS for coming over to Pahrump to talk to us and talk about all the things that they have available. But you can go to their website and find out so much more. So, Tom, I just want to thank you for being here.
Well, Tom, thank you for having me. This is my 4th trip to Pahrump this year, but this is one of the most fun.
We want you to have more, but come back and join us in the next session.